let's get started. Welcome, welcome. I hope everyone's going well tonight. So yeah, I'm out of the sling. So yeah, it's going to be slow getting out of it. So yeah, I might go in and out. Who knows? But today's been fine, which is good. So yeah, let's jump straight into it. So tonight we're probably going to continue off with the scheduler. So what we've come up with is we're like, all right, cool. We actually need a new permission put into NearBeach to sort of handle the scheduler itself. It is in itself its own entity, a user. Yeah, you don't want every single user to sort of be able to schedule tasks and projects and stuff like that. So you actually want a dedicated person to do that, or dedicated few people per team. So we are going to implement this. It does mean that we need to create a migration. It does mean that we need to put it on here, make sure it updates, and all that kind of fun stuff, which should be easy. And then when we're dealing with the tests, it should be the generic user permissions that we're actually going to be dealing with, which is good. We then don't need to worry about a user having to worry about, we don't need to worry about users having task or project permissions, because if they've got permissions for the scheduler, they should, in theory, have permissions for creating these projects and tasks. So, yeah. All right, let's jump straight into it. Let's just close all of this. Yeah, we're doing some funky code last time and I was just hating it, and I was like, no, there's got to be a better solution. This is the better solution. And just have to step back a little and be like, all right, cool. We need to actually think how users will use this. All right, we've got an incoming ad break in a minute, but we'll see what we can do in the meantime. So we're going to open up the NearBeach models. We are going to look for permission set. With permission set with an open bracket. There we go. So here are all the permissions in here so far. What we need to do is put one in for schedule. So it's going to be an integer field, much like everywhere else. The choices are going to be permission level and default equals 0. All right, that filled that out pretty quickly. So that's pretty much the model done. We do need to go over here. I'm just gonna cd site NearBeach. We're gonna source our VM bin activate. I'm just gonna do that. We're gonna go Python 3 manage migrate. Oops, sorry, make migrations. That's gonna make that migration. So there we go. And then what we want to do, Python 3 and manage migrate. Now, we've also got to fix up the fixtures for this. I do believe if we go Python 3 manage, actually no, because we default to 0, that should be all perfectly fine. It should just run without any problem. We'll need to fix up these warnings. Yeah, we'll fix up those warnings. We don't need to worry about them now. And we're joined here today with Socks. Don't know if she's popping up on the screen there. She is. We do have an ad incoming. It's just not telling me when it's going to come up. There we go. For those on YouTube, don't worry. We run ads every half an hour on Twitch, so people don't get the pre-rolled ads. You guys don't get ads. You get to see me and Socks. So yeah, and here she is. She's actually sitting in her usual spot before I had to bring the keyboard here and T-Rex type. So yeah. Hopefully everyone's going well. I do have the camera on a lean. Just give me 2 seconds. There it goes. Sorry, I've got to think of a new setup for this. So yeah. Yeah. Other things I want to actually achieve tonight is probably setting up the Right, I'll probably stand up in a minute or two. Other things I want to achieve tonight is setting up the sort of unit tests. Well, we're setting up the fixtures for the unit tests for the GDPR wizard. So yeah, that will hopefully happen. It's just me sitting there picking someone to delete and then putting their data throughout the whole entire database and saving that fixture and then going back. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And then writing up the test to delete that particular person and watching them be removed from everywhere. So yeah. Make sure that chat's on. Yep. Alright, cool. So I'm just double checking everything. And welcome back, everyone. I hope you're going well. Socks is glad she's got her usual spot back. Oh, Socks, what did you press? I don't know. Oh god, you just full screened everything. No. Socks. Why do you do that to me? I'm back in ad time. All right, sorry about that. So we should be on workshop now. Should be. I look at the feedback. All right, cool. We are back. So yeah, we're going to continue with this one particular task. What I want to do is we've just done the request for change. The scheduled object down here. Everything's going to be default by default. However, that being said, we'll need the admin person to have the ability. I haven't migrated, have I? I have, haven't I? Yeah, I have. Damn it. Yeah, I just need to make sure that any super users have this turned on by default. And when we document this, we'll have to state that where the permissions are kept and so forth like that. So, yeah. All right. Okay, so let's actually build. Hang on. Give me 2 seconds. I'm just going to minimize everything. I'm going to open up NearBeach. I'm going to open up NearBeach again. I'm going to open up our migrations folder. Migrations, there you are. God, there's getting so many in here. So what we want to do is we want to add them on here. So the default is 0. I know we can. Usually there's something like this where we can set up stuff. Like this. This actually sets up the database. Model NearBeach. Bulk. Is there a bulk update? I don't know if there's a bulk update, but I tell you what. Let's just copy that. Let's go down here. Let's see how this is properly set up. This is actually initialized data, so it's actually called down here operations, migrations, run Python, initialized data, reverse data. All right, cool. Operations. Yeah, so we would need to create a little something like this up there. We're just putting this in at the moment. And then it'll be something like this. I'm sorry, I just got to look around socks. So operations, that will be like that, and then it'll be like that. And then you got that, and then it'll be called initialized data. It will be. It won't be technically initialized data. Actually, technically, yeah. We won't need that. We'll just apply any super user will automatically have the Oh, what was it? It was just the schedule permission. Schedule object permissions. Alright, cool. Schema editor. Alright, cool. We're happy with that. So, in this sort of case, it won't be that. It will quite literally be not that. I was trying to not. No, piss off. Let me tab. Thank you. We'll need to do the permission sets. And it will be permission set equals apps.get model, and it will be NearBeach, and then it'll be permission set. Then it should be permission set dot objects dot using db alias dot update now. This is where I'm going to go into here and go Django migrations update data. All right. I'm just wondering if I've done this before. Give me 2 seconds. So db alias dot. I've done a bunch of bulk create. No, that's our update, which we're trying to do. Might not be possible. Permission set to objects using. Hold on. Dot filter. Ah, all right, easy. Oh yeah, permission set ID equals 1, and then update. That will then be the. That will be the scheduled objects, not equals that, equals 4. And then I get rid of all of that. Okay, the administration permission set should have the scheduled object permissions set at 4. Now I'm double checking that this is correct. We're going to go into here. We're just going to do the copy and paste because sometimes this IDE gets a little confused. All right, cool. Equals 4. And that should be it. In theory. Oops. All right. We can double check this. We'll just go over here. We're going to open up a new tab. We're going to go source VM bin activate. And then what we can do, Python 3 manage shell. We're just going to go import, from NearBeach.models, import everything, easy done. What we want to do is permission set.objects filter, permission set ID equals 1. There we go, update. This will be I'm just going to paste it in, scheduled objects equals 4. Permissions set, did I mean, yes, I did. Sorry, that was a big boo-boo. Permission set dot objects dot filter permission set ID equals 1 dot update scheduled object. Sorry, I'm going to paste this in because I know I'll do a mistake. So we just did that. Now, if we go, let's say a equals permission set dot objects dot get pk equals 1. So that's the first one. Then we go a. We get all of that a dot scheduled object, and that's a 4. So that's been updated. So in theory, this should work, but we need it to work in reality. So I'm going to remove the database, and what I'm going to do is something a little bit sneaky. Just wondering. No, it should work perfectly fine. No, we don't have the, I know of one other bug straight away. Alright, so, sorry. Git status. I'm going to git stash those at the moment. Ooh. Alright, this is where you find out that I need to redo this. I did it not that long ago. Git stash list. Alright, so git stash. I just need the help again. Stick to drop apply. It's apply, isn't it? Git stash apply, and then we do the index. This is applying logic rules on no work in progress, develop, release, merge tag. What am I on? Alright, give me 2 seconds. I keep forgetting this one. Git show current commit. Git show head. I forgot which one this is. I should really start cleaning these stashes out. Applying basic login rules, scheduler. I think it's the top one. So git stash, apply 0. There we go. And then git stash, and then there should be an option for non-committed files. So git stash save. Hashtag to do it. Give me the other options. All right. Q quiet. All right. You know what? Sometimes git stash new files. Include untracked. All right, cool. All right, so should be like that. All right, cool. So remove the database. It's probably already done. Python 3 manage migrate. So we're going to migrate everything back into that one state. And thank you very much, DBSZ, for the follow. Welcome, welcome. I do hope you are enjoying my content, as I just struggle with this today. So, yeah. And Akpi, welcome back. Hey, what's up, man? Nice to see you with the arm race. Yeah, so it's out and about. So today's really the first day. It's a bit tired, but that's fine. There's no problem for me. So yeah, glad I'm out of it. So yeah. All right, we just applied the migrations. I now need to do the Python 3 manage. I'm going to load some data into it, our test data. I'm going to go NearBeach fixtures. I'm going to do the basics of data. Yeah, just the basics of data. That's perfectly fine. Cool. And then what I want to do, git status. Sorry, git stash list. And then git stash apply. And I think it's just the 0.1 on there. All right, cool. And then we've got to test what I've just done. So Python manage Python, and then we're going to go and migrate our new field in. There we go, and no errors, so I'm actually really happy. That is good. Hey, just lurking and hoping to learn something. Still a beginner, and I just want to see how you tackle problems and code. Cheers. So yeah, I do enjoy a really good lurker, so feel free to ask any questions. Whether or not I can answer them is, you know, we're all learning. So yeah, and Nocturnal, how are you today? Hopefully you're going well. Okay, so I'm happy with that. I am now going to move on to the front end. So, oh no, I've got to fix one thing first. So I need to find permissions set throughout the code. So I do believe it's this one. Initialize permission sets where we pass through the user. We've got the admin user. We need to initialize it in here. So this one will be down here. This will be the scheduled object. That will be a 4. It's not part of the notes section. It actually should be up here. Okay, busy weekend, so I'm tired. Fair enough. Yep. Yeah, just busy with work at the moment. Have you ever heard of a gorilla test? No, I haven't. Test gorilla, AI powerful, talent, test gorilla sources, test gorilla assessment test questions. Yeah, no, I haven't actually. I don't know what it is. What is gorilla testing? Complete guide. Gorilla testing is a software testing technique that focuses on intense and repeated testing of a specific module or feature of an application. Unlike comprehensive testing methodologies like regression testing or exploratory testing, gorilla testing narrows its scope to a single component, rigorously testing it to spot hidden bugs, defects, or potential vulnerabilities that might have been overlooked in a broader testing phase. Okay. For those wondering where I'm getting that information from, I just got it from Browser Stack. Yeah, I haven't actually really done something like this, but I can see it. I can see its usefulness, especially if you've got something very critical, like a new feature that's coming out that is very critical. You want to just focus on testing on that particular thing, so you throw everything at it and you try and break it as best as possible. For example, an API, yeah, or specific user inputs. Yeah. Alright, so NearBeach is an open source project management system. I'll quickly show you the front end. Give me 2 seconds. I'll boot up my dev environment. Assuming I haven't, do I need to compile anything? Probably not. So the idea is you can gather basic sort of organization and customer details. You can gather user requirements and break them down into requirement items. Think of like user stories if you've ever done project management before. It's got a Kanban board functionality. You can create projects and tasks also. And when you're ready for a deployment, it also has a request for change feature built into it. So yeah. I'll leave this one open. Login mode ensures critical login function will work under various input conditions. Yep, payment gateways. Yep, security features. Yep. API testing. Okay, I did say API testing before. Yeah. But to answer your question, have I heard of guerrilla testing? No. Have I ever done it before? Not really. When I do development and stuff like that, I do sort of test, but I probably don't do it at a guerrilla testing level. So, yeah. Alright, getting back into this, we needed to update that, so that should be fine. Power user set. Power users should have this ability, so I'm going to paste it in there. Normal set. Normal set, this is where we start going, no. Maybe a read only, yeah. Read only is a no. So, yeah. Okay, so that should initialize all of that on setup. Alright. Now I just gotta find where else it is. So we've done the admin side of things. Yeah, that's perfectly fine. That's just registering it. The user permissions. Yeah, that's perfectly fine. The forms. I passed the first stage of Upskill 3.0 by Cardtonic. Oh, nice. Congratulations. It's a program where they train us in tech skills. I'm on the software engineering track. Ah, neat. Congratulations. I'm in the next round now, and winners get a brand new laptop. Ooh, next step is Guerrilla Tests. Do you know if it's coding, MCQs, or both? Any quick prep tips? I don't know. And this is also where acronyms get me all the time. Because MCQ, multiple choice questions. Ah, okay. Sorry, I would never have guessed that. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, my guess is to read up on it, but yeah, I haven't done any sort of testing with Cardtonic or anything like that, so I don't know what to expect, sorry. Yeah. Rigorous repetition of specific feature. Yeah. Alright, getting back into this and quickly having a look. So query set, permissions all, yep. I think most of this is perfectly fine. We've set the permissions up at the top and that's what we need. So once this is done, we now need to actually have the admin user be able to sorry, I'm just changing a few things. Have the admin user be able to make those changes. So that's part of the front end and part of the back end. So we'll go into NearBeach. We'll open up, the views. Permission set information should be in here. So we want to actually right-hand click on that and just go directly to it. Alright, permission set, so you have to be an admin, stuff like that. Yep, so that just grabs the data. Cool, sweet and normal. That lists everything in, and that just sends it. Alright, so we're happy with that. The delete we're fine with. The the save itself, permission sets, return error, cannot edit administration. Yep, that's just a check to make sure there's no administration changes. The form, make sure that is perfectly fine. I think the form, I might need to actually edit the form, so I need to go to this implementation. All right, cool. That's just that simple. Got error, no worries. Since you haven't used Gorilla, what general advice would you give for coding aptitude tests like this? I've only done HTML, CSS so far, still learning JavaScript. All right, so just having a quick look at Gorilla tests, and remember, this is me not actually doing this before. Okay. So essentially, what they're saying is you're testing one specific thing on here. So, resilience identification detects how well a feature withstands repeated use. Yep, repetition. The same feature is tested repeatedly using similar or slightly varied input. Yep. So you would test. Let's say it's a login. All right, let's keep it simple. Let's go. All right, sweet. We're gonna do this with a login. Okay. So what I would do, I would log in normally. Another thing I would do is log in incorrectly. Like for example, wrong password and then wrong username and stuff like that. I would then start testing to see if it takes weird characters and so forth like that. I would also, if I were really up to this, I would take the network traffic, modify it. So I'm just going to key in something wrong in here. So we're still on the same page and stuff like that. I'm going to be persistent logs. I'm going to do that again. So as you see, we've got a post down here. What we can actually do is we can edit and resend this one post. So as you see, there's a lot of information on the left which we sent. We should see username and passwords somewhere in there. That request. All right, let's open that up properly so you can. So there's the middleware. There's the username. There's the password. I've got to find it somewhere. I think it was over here. I did say edit and resend. Yeah, edit and resend. Those are the headers. There's the body. It's down in the body. I would start adding in extra stuff down here, extra sort of characters and so forth like that. You can make it as long as possible. Probably because I've got access to the code, I probably know what will happen if I put too many characters in, like the form will fail and stuff like that. But some systems that might not happen. What else could I do to break this? So there's potentially a lot. Alright, I would. And you can resend that and it'll actually come back with that. Just trying to think how I can test a login form outside of. I'll try to do escape characters. So I know the backend's Python, Django, forms, escape characters, stuff like that. So have a look through the documentation, be like, all right, cool, can I escape any of these sort of characters and so forth like that, going through the back end. So a good example is a good old just single quote or double quote, send that back, see what happens and so forth like that. Yeah. Ooh, we're on an ad break. Give me a couple of. All right, cool. I'm now curious. I am just going to Google. All right, Gorilla testing login form Django examples. Guerrilla testing, just pick a name, select the test you need, and then add it on your account. Alright, let's test gorillas, Django test evaluates the candidate skills, and alright, that's not what I needed. Talk to list, here's my talk on Django. I'm gonna get rid of Django examples. I'm gonna go guerrilla testing login form examples. Not many examples. How are we with the ads? About 25 seconds left of ads. Yeah, this is... Alright, I'm probably going to do something that I don't do often, but we've just opened up ChatGPT. Let's get an example. All right, welcome back, everyone. Because yeah, all the Google results were like, oh, this is the difference between guerrilla testing and stuff like that. Let's see if we can use this to sort of get it to refine what we want. Can you? I am interested in guerrilla testing. I already have a login form set up that needs to test, but I just don't know any examples of how I would test this form with Gorilla in mind. Yeah, probably the whole kit and caboodle. So you got the front end and then you got back end. The login form was just as an example. Yeah, all right, assumptions. You have a form with username, email field, password field, login button. All right, cool, yeah, that's correct. So the guerrilla testing example for the login, you would test like 100+ characters. All right, cool, yep. Special characters. All right, yeah, I said escape characters before, but special characters is good. Ooh, cross-site attack. Yep. Doing this, yes. Yep, the injection sort of stuff. Emojis. I didn't think of that. So yeah, very long strings. Yep, all white spaces. Ooh, Unicode characters. So if you, yeah, that would be good. Null byte injection. Ooh, all right. So those are some of the username, some of the fields you can test. Click login 50 times rapidly. All right, this is something a bit different. Submit forms with 20 with empty fields 20+ times. All right. Yep, I didn't think it. Yep, definitely would have thought of that. Switch rapidly between correct and incorrect input and submit. Okay, yep. Use browser autofill repeatedly and quickly. Okay. So you just keep logging in over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. I mean, you could potentially do that using Selenium as a simple Python script. Incorrect sequences / misuse. Do things that normal users shouldn't do. Simply only one field, just the password. Add white spaces before or after valid inputs. All right, yep. Use mixed case when backend is case sensitive. Use uppercase, lowercase. Yep. All right. Boundary testing. Okay. Input exactly at the max length. That's the limit. Input just over. Yep. Try zero length input. Mixed edge cases. Yeah, okay. Test login and mobile. Yep, all right. So doing that, we actually do that with our testing anyway. So we test on multiple different platforms because sometimes browsers sometimes work differently depending on the OS and which browser it is. Disable JavaScript and try and submit. That's always a fun one. Interrupt the request mid-submit, yep. Change the form field using the browser dev tools before submitting. Oh, yeah, I did that one. Security testing lightweight. When Gorilla testing isn't on security testing, it can poke at vulnerabilities. Try passing JavaScript into the field. Enter SQLite inputs. Yep. All right. Cool. Unknown common passwords. All right. Yeah. Does it lock you out? Cool. So yeah. The idea is you're just testing your site, so if you've like got a search functionality on your site or anything like that, in your case, because you don't have any input, so there's no data being sent to the backend or something like that, what you would want to do is test on multiple different platforms and make sure it's working. Make sure if you keep refreshing a page, it works and stuff like that. So, yeah. We have learned something today. Alright, so this we know we don't need to update. This is perfectly fine. So we get all the old stuff. We just need to, this is, I do believe. No, we don't send the ID back into the form. So we can't do form.save. There is a better way of doing this. You would just need to send back the ID into the form, and then what actually happens is you can just go form.save and it'll update all of this for us, but we haven't done that. So we're doing it the long way. Scheduled object equals form.clean, and there we go. And that's it. So that's it saving. We now need it to show on the front end. So I'm going to minimize everything. I'm going to open up NearBeach. I'm going to open up the source, JavaScript, components. We are forgetting where this is. Administration. No, it's under permissions. Permission information. So we're going to edit a couple of these particular fields. So we've got the new permission set and the permission information. Now, we're just going to scroll all the way down to the bottom because this is part of MISC. So we'll have the bug tag, and then we'll just add it in here. So this will be single permission properties. We're going to go vbind. Now, I can't type at the moment, so vbind property value equals. Now that says the tag module. This will be a schedule object. Now, did I say scheduled or schedule? This is where I've got to be consistent with this. So give me a couple of seconds whilst I find the models and find out again. Schedule object. So we're just going to paste that in there and be like, boom. All right, schedule object model. We'll make this model in a second. So yeah. Then what we want is vbind.list of choices is just going to be permission level. Easy done, because we'll have the read only and all that kind of stuff. I hate when that actually happens. I'm just going to go back to, so property equals, and this will be the schedule object model. This will be property label equals the configure schedule object. And then we've got v on update property value equals update property value, just that, and then we just do that. Yep, cool. So we need to make one of those. That's not going to be hard. That's just us scrolling down here and probably just copying that. This should be in alphabetical order. Should be this one in here, like this, and then we go this, permission set results, and then 0.fields dot, and it'll just be schedule object. Easy done. So that should automatically work. Where we now need to send it to the back end. And then that's just going to be schedule object. And that's just going to be the schedule object model. And then, yeah, easy. Now that's with the permission information. We also got to do the same thing with the new one too. Oh, maybe not. I'm forgetting I don't actually need to do that with the new one. So we'll log in. We'll put that around about there. There we go. You guys can see all of that. So if we go into permission sets and add in a new permission, when we add in a permission, this is all that is required. However, when we jump into here, we can go down here and we haven't built it yet. All right, so npm run watch. Sorry, I should have had this running before. It's been a little while since I've actually had to build the front end and stuff like that. I've been working mostly on other stuff. So yeah, this is pretty exciting. All right, so we've got all that working. We're going to go over here. I do have this, the dev thingy open. So we've got configure scheduled object down here. We've just got it as full permissions for the administration, which is what we wanted on, but an edit only should have no permissions. So we know this is working. I'm just going to put a read only and save permission for this, and I'm just going to hit reload. That should, boom, read only. And then if I go no permission, boom. All right, so we got the CRUD working. So we've got the create, we've got the read, we've got the update. The delete, we don't need to worry about. There's the delete in that whole permission set. Cool. So that is done. We now need to just plug everything in for, that's right, I'll close these, for the scheduler. So just minimizing all of that, we're just going to open up that. We're going to open up that. We are going to open up a different set of views for a second. Actually, we're going to open up the scheduler view, but we're also going to open up the task view itself, and we're going to have a quick look. So in here, we've got check specific object permission in here. We've got a minimum permission level, we've got the object lookup, and then we've got the task. Now, I'm just gonna have a quick look at this. So if super user, we pass them on. If object lookup is nothing, permission denied. Yep, so then we look up the function dictionary for the object. Which we get passes, user level and extra level, and then, yeah, all right, cool. So I need to actually go to that one. So function dictionary, it looks up all of this. So now we could use this generic sort of stuff, but that being said, the reason why we don't want to create, do this sort of, sorry, I've just got to think this out, so bear with me. So there's two options. I can do a generic thing and add it into here, and then I can use it with the object permissions and stuff like that. However, this is for all those objects. But it also means if I'm adding and removing groups or anything like that, so but schedules aren't really an object themselves. They're used to sort of time out when an object gets created automatically. What I want to do is have a quick look at the decorators, check user permissions. We've also got Gantt chart permissions in here, which looks specifically at Gantt chart permissions. We've got object permissions, organization permissions, which is just checks the user organization permissions. I'm leaning on that this is very similar to the organization permission in being that we just need to look it up in one particular place. and it's nothing ultra special. This is a custom function. Yeah. Alright. I'm probably leaning on this. It'll be a simple function. And I'm not doing anything overly crazy with it. Yeah, I think this is just going to be a simple function. Now, it's not going to be an admin sort of thing. Sprints are probably a little bit overcomplicated, but we can build on this. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to right-hand click. I'm going to create a new file, and what I'm going to call it is scheduled object permissions.py, and it's going to specifically just check for the user's permissions on the scheduled object and stuff like that. Now, because this isn't going to be part of the API, we don't need to worry about some API functionality calling this. Yeah, we haven't implemented this functionality into the API, and we'll probably won't. Good reasons why we won't. Not for the moment, at least. It's a bit more yeah, this thing's a bit complicated. And I feel like not having it in the API is definitely going to help. So we need the permission denied. We also need from functools import wraps. We need from NearBeach models. We're going to import the permission set. I think. Maybe not. What we need to do is actually, I'm just gonna get rid of that, and I'm just gonna go def. So check schedule object. Now I've got to rename this. Scheduled object permissions. And then we're going to pass through the min permission level. Easy going. From here, we need a def decorator. That's going to be the function. I'm going to put in a simple sort of thing. So checks the user's permissions for the schedule object functionality in NearBeach. What's up? Oh, you're not including scheduled object in the API. Probably not yet. I mean, if you want it, sure I can. I just gotta build everything out so users understand what they're putting through, if that makes sense. Just because I'm also going to build this out so people could schedule in requests for changes and stuff like that. So that's the next sort of brick in this functionality. So yeah, the idea being is that the schedule will connect to a template, and you could potentially use the same template over multiple different schedules and stuff like that. Yeah, it would be great long term. All right, cool. Well, I'll keep that in my mind. There could be a refactor anytime soon whenever I'm implementing the request for changes. So yeah, check the user permission to, for the scheduled object functionality in NearBeach. All right, it's as simple as that. So we want to wrap these functions. We've got the def inner. We've got the request. Args and quags. Yep. I am Now the destination. We won't need that. So give me a couple of seconds. Now, will this let me run? Yes, it will, because it's not part of the thing. So we've got the scheduled object information up here. We do have the location ID, but none of that matters. It does matter because there's a group list. You can't actually edit anything that you don't have a group assigned to, because that would be terrible. Okay, and then when you're creating something, you've got to create your something which you have in your own group, and I think the front end catches that for you. You currently don't have any permission to create this object, Lisa. Yeah, all right, cool. So the front end does that, awesome. We will still need to do that in the back end, but that's pretty easy. Yeah, it feels like that object which gets scheduled would somewhat be generic. Just create a call with some quags, with obvious issues, what you need to make is valid. Yeah, so I'll need to sort of, and this is solved by documentation too, have it been like, oh, you want to have this particular schedule run weekly. All right, you've got to update it so it looks like this in this particular structure. Here are the values of what days of the week you want to run it on, and stuff like that. So, yeah. Writing a hook, so I create a Kanban card. Yeah, fair enough. Well, that also could be an idea. I could potentially add in the scheduled objects. Give me a couple of seconds. I'm just gonna make sure NearBeach is still running on the 90th version. Yep, where's our I know that's board number. I don't know why. No, not 21. Alright, I'm going to bring this down. We don't have scheduled object in here, do we? Code and design, requirements, dashboard, search, Kanban board. No, it will go down in here. So, actually, no, I'll tell you what. I've locked those. Alright, that can go up to about there. Yeah, that's fine there. Alright, where's my scheduled object things now? So many items on this. So, yeah. Alright, scheduled objects. Ability to schedule Kanban cards. Alright, cool. I like that idea. And ability to schedule request for changes. I'm going to put this in the Kanban board so they don't get lost. So yeah. I don't remember if I updated my task on the board. Do you know your task number? So yeah. I don't know. Oh no, I probably opened up all of these recently. Alright, implement 2FA with 1Password. Oh no, that's with 1Password. Yep, no, that hasn't moved. I haven't been able to get a dongle yet. Something I should actually bring up in the AGM. Alright, cool. You'll look later. Fair enough, yep, all good. Alright, and for those that have just wondered what actually happened, we're actually using NearBeach to develop NearBeach. So you actually got to see the production version of NearBeach and what we have scheduled coming up. So yeah, there's a lot coming up. There's a lot in review and QA. We need to do the unit tests for the APIs. We need to create fixtures for the GDPR wizard, which we're going to do tonight. We're going to finish up the fixtures. It won't take long. It should have been something I've done on the weekend. We're implementing metadata for all objects, so that's just an extra field. I will follow up with you Nocturnal later about what we want to put in there. The NES project, test all databases. So I've got to test all databases, make sure that they are running perfectly fine. So that's me just shoving up a test instance on my NAS and just throwing like something like playwright at it, where it'll just go through all the pages and so forth like that. Indexing NearBeach database. So yeah, it's just I've got to read up on how to do that. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff which we actually kind of want to do. And we are using NearBeach to sort of help us track it. And as you can see, we've got 2 tags at the moment, 0.31, which we're not doing at the very moment, where we'll start those when we're actually start the 0.32 branch. But I want to wrap up the 0.31 branch first. So, getting back to it, in here, we will have IDs in here. So, sorry. There won't be a destination. We don't need to worry about it. But what we need to do is we need to get the ID if it exists. No, don't you dare fill out anything automatic. All right, so we don't need to worry about the destination at all. If the request user is an admin, yeah, that's stock standard sort of stuff. That just goes here at the top of the thing. If the request user is super admin, just pass it on. We don't need to do any calculations whatsoever. And yeah, so what we want to do is we want to see if there's any groups. I'm going to put a breakpoint here. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fail everything. Easy. So raise, permission denied, easy done. Return inner, yep, we're all happy here. And then return decorator, done. I'm just going to get rid of that. We're just going to minute that down here. We're just going to be like, this is it. This is the basic sort of stuff. We're going to go to the objects scheduler. We're going to go all the way up to the top. We're going to import this particular functionality. So we should just go from here, from nearbeach.decorators.checkUserPermissions, and then it will be the scheduled object user permissions, import the scheduled check object user permissions. Easy done. So now that we've got that, what we want to do is, this is an internal function, I believe. I might have to stand it a little bit. Internal function. Don't worry about that. Down here, we need to worry about it. So it's going to be the secondary check. So this will be the check scheduled object permission. So for a new scheduled object, the minimum permission level is going to be, so it'll be read only is 1, 2 is to edit, 3 is to create, 4 is to delete. So it'll be a 3. All right. And down here, we're just going to do the same thing with this. So new scheduled object save, easy done. That's just the saving process. Down here, we've got the scheduled object. So at check scheduled objects, that's just going to be a 1 because read only is what we need. Sorry, I was changing the desk height and couldn't hear. Oh, all right, cool. Prod Kanban board information. It is the metadata field for objects. Implement a simple JSON field that can store metadata for all objects. This field should be editable from the API. Yeah, I just need to plan that out. That's all. Alright, going back into here with the scheduled objects. So scheduled object information, I'm just going to yank that one line. We're just going to go down. We're just going to paste it in. Easy done. And then object information save. Oops. That should be a 2. Oh, and we've just hit an ad break. All right, sorry about that. Cool. So for those on YouTube, we run ad breaks every half an hour, just so people don't get pre-rolled ads. We do this so no one misses out on any content. You get to see me and my cat Socks, who's just currently sitting in bed, like so. So yeah. Oh, yep, nocturnal, yeah. Just should be a key value, Jason Blob, yep. I just need to think about how to sort of get it updated and so forth like that, because someone might try and save something and we don't want them overriding it by mistake and all that kind of fun stuff. So I was probably going to have a talk to you around, should we have a separate API for filling that out, or should we have it in the system where if it's left blank or something like that, we don't edit it? Or if it does get edited, do we only edit the data that comes through? So yeah, just a bunch of stuff that I've got to ask, get recommendations and stuff. Right, how with ads, 15 seconds, easy done. Socks is in bed at the moment. She got enough cuddles today. Now that she can actually sit in front of me. So yeah, that gets a bit tricky. Depends on if it's put versus patch. Yeah, so now I haven't implemented any of the patch stuff for NearBeach's API. That's also something we should discuss before we version it up. So yeah. Anyway, welcome back everyone. So we're going into here. We're just permission 2 for that one. So we've done all the permissions here. So what I should do is I should hit reload. We should hit that object here, and then we should see, now this is just the search objects. So we should see in here that everything should be fine. I can't see anything in the args and quargs, which we expected. So I'm just going to hit play. Now I know that's going to have a problem because, and this is very, very simple, I should have done this straight away, is if we scroll all the way up and we go from the top down again, I forgot to put the args and quarks into here. Like that. That's a quick and easy fix. Yep, args and quarks. Args and quarks. Alright, sweet. So if I hit reload again, eventually this will reload. There we go. We've got the bug, not the bug, sorry, debug point. I did hit play. Right. Yep, there we go. Now, if I jump into one of these, we should see our scheduled object ID in the quark. So that's what we want. So we don't care if the user is super user. They automatically get everything. Patches the heart. Put should override the statement by default. A patch should edit it. Alright, yep. Patches are hard. K8 has several ways of doing patches for a reason. Alright, cool. Might be one of those things that we just say, it's not a supported method. Patches. Yeah. Or yeah, we'll figure this on out. So yeah. Yeah. This is dependent on if there is an ID. So get the scheduled object ID if it exists. I know I spelled that wrong. Patches are really useful, but yeah, when it comes to nested things, it gets hard. Yeah. I'm sure we can figure it out. So yeah. Alright, going into here, we need to get this scheduled object ID. So I'm just going to go scheduled object ID equals. Now, I do know there is a thing which we can do. It is, let's get attribute, isn't it? And that will be part of the quarks. And the attribute will be that. And then we default none. So yeah, all right. I'm trying to think of two things at once. I might write the code out, have a look at it, rethink of it, and rejigger it. So yeah, what we need to do if scheduled object is none, we might get permission sets. So this would be user group result equals user group dot objects dot filter. We'll need to import that user. That model very quickly. I've just hit a random button and I hope I didn't break anything. Hang on. Yeah, thought so. From NearBeach.models import user group, and we're going to go permissions. Actually, I don't think we need permission set. I've read many merge object functions in my time. Never one I've been quite happy with yet. Fair enough. So yeah. There we go. It's meant to be like that. And then, yeah, the default should be none. Yes. All right. So we're going to grab the user groups. We're making sure is deleted equals false. And the user is a part of that group. So that's that connection between user group and permission set. So we're going to have a look at this. Now, if scheduled object equals none, we want to update the user group result equals user group results dot filter, and then we need to go group sorry. Oh, we need to get the group results from this. Oh, yeah, we can. Group ID n equals, and then we've got object assignment. Objects.filter is deleted. Sorry. I should get some water soon. We've got that. We need the user group is null equals false, and then we need the hang on. How have we connected this one up? It's a lovely bug in this. Now, do I have? I've got to update again. Data group. Oh, I haven't installed it yet. All right, so B Studio. B Studio. Sorry about that. I am going to quickly grab myself a drink of water. I will be right back. I'll be right back. Okay. I'm so sorry about that. Let's see if I can continue. Alright, so this is for the scheduled object. So we've got the NearBeach scheduled object. It might be, and this is where I think I've done something horrible and I probably need to pull what I've done out. Because I'm wondering, oh no, that's frequency attributes. No, that's fine as JSON. That's perfectly fine because we're only ever manipulating that at the front end. Yeah. All right. So object assignment. Let's have a look in here. So I'm going to open up this. We've got object assignment. We don't have the scheduled stuff in here. All right. So this is the part of that. Object template group. All right. Good. I didn't do something silly. I am so glad I didn't do anything silly. Cool. This is what the table we want. It's not object assignment. It's object socks. It's okay. Right? No. No. Socks. Come here. You know, I've got a bad arm. Come here. It's okay. Sorry about that. Socks and Patty don't get along the best, and Patty's just like, I just want the heater. Okay, it's okay, Socks. In your bed. Come on, go to the good arm. I can't lift you yet. Okay. He's doing good. He's all settled in and stuff like that. He pretty much has the couch. So he'll sit on the couch. Some days are good with socks, some days aren't so good with socks. It depends on her mood, really. So yeah, but he's perfectly fine. Yeah, he's settled in. All he wants is just pats at the moment, and I think Socks gets jealous about that too. Yeah. All right, cool. So I've done something good. So we need object template group. We need that one, not object assignment. So I'm going to get rid of the object assignment up here. And I don't know if you guys actually saw them fight by the heater. Actually, I'm just going to have a quick look at... you might have seen a couple of fisticuffs down at the lower right. But no, they weren't hitting each other. They're just they're slapping pieces of paper near themselves. So yeah, Socks will calm down. She'll be fine. So user group is null. In that sort of case, this will be the user group ID. So it'll literally be just the group ID. So we don't need to worry about that at all. We just need to worry about the... Oh, we don't have the object template ID. So the object template ID equals, and that will be the scheduled objects dot. I'm just going to do ID in. I'm going to do a filter. Is deleted equals false. We need to also include that up here, so that will be part of the scheduled objects. All right, cool. And it's going to be, how are you? Hopefully you're going well. So the scheduled object ID will equal the scheduled object ID. Actually, I don't need any of that. What am I doing? Oh, no, wait. Yes, I do, because I need the template ID. And then that will be the values. Will be the template, object template ID. Possibly. Yeah, Socks is just rowdy today. Corpse Jack Menace. What my tac wants. Yeah, my tac gets. Fair enough. Yep, I'm assuming tac is your little cat. Or animal. Alright, I'm just double checking all of this. So we're just going to go scheduled object. We're going to double click on this. So we've got the scheduled object. Run count is active. Frequency, date attribute, object template ID. It is in there. So instead of creating something overly complicated here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go schedule. This is schedule object, isn't it? Scheduled object results equals object template groups dot, and then we're just going to do a get. We are going to go actually no, it'll be a filter. I can't make up my mind. I'm just going to delete that. We're going to go with what I was going to do. In fact, that should be user group results, because we're adding the filter on where the group ID is the object template groups. And then the object template ID is in the scheduled object filter, and then it is, we go over here, we have a look, it is going to be the object template ID. That. So that deals with that connection, and then we've got to deal with that connection where it's just as simple as values, and I do believe it's just group IDs. We've got to double check that with the object template. So the object template group ID, easy done. All right, so that's applying a filter to the groups, the user permission groups, dependent on the scheduled object ID. So I'm happy with that. And then what we've got to do is we've got to get the max value of that particular permission. So, sorry, I'm gonna have some more water. All right. I'm trying to remember the. Tell you what, we do this permission checking all the time in the partials. So we're going to run to the project permissions. We're going to scroll down. So yeah, we do a similar thing in here with the length of the quags. We do it with the length. All right, no, we're not going to do that here. So user level, aggregate. Yeah, it's pretty much that. And then we just copy that. We paste it in. We do need the max in, so that's part of the from Django.db.import max. There we go. Can't believe I remembered that. So the user level will equal the user group results, which we've got up here. Aggregate that, where we get the max permission level, and then we're nicking out the max permission level from that. So we've got the user level, so we'll return. All right, in this sort of case, they are returning true and false. We're not going to worry about that. What we need to do is make sure that it actually passes the minimum value. So in this sort of case, what actually happens is I am going to check one of these. So it comes through. We've got to check this. So if the user level is greater or equal to that, yeah, we just do that. and we're fine with that. So yeah, the user level is greater. We don't have any extra permissions for this, so that just goes away. So the minimum permission, everything's fine. Continue on. Then we just do that, and then that should be it. It's a pretty easy and simple setup. Yeah, we just need to test it now. So going into here, we are going to open up a read-only user. We're going to go localhost. We're going to go, not admin, sorry, read-only. We're going to go into scheduled objects. Oh. Username. All right, cool. Made a little bit of a bug. Not a problem. This is actually meant to be username, not just user. We're just going to wait a couple of seconds. This is why we test. All right, cannot resolve keywords. Scheduled object ID. All right. This. All right, it sucks. Stop it. Yeah, she's just a little overprotective at the moment. I'm going to put the breakpoint down here just in case. I am just going to hit refresh. We are actually hitting that. So now we can find out where the bug actually happened. So we've got that. We're going to step forward one. We have a look at this. We've got a none in there. So we're going to actually skip this completely. Oops. All right. Made a bit of boo-boo. That's why we test. All right, we're gonna hit refresh. And I think I've hit that. Oh, no. All right. Oops. Ah. All right, so I'm just gonna hit stop. We're just gonna go over here. I'm just gonna hit stop. I've done something. I've locked up the system somehow. It just happens. By the way, you can call me Stinky Boy. Ah, yes. How are you going, Stinky Boy? Hopefully you're going well. All right, we are going to do that. So we should go forward. This should be none. This should go over here. So we should have all the group results in here. In this particular case, I think we've got maybe one or two. No, we've got one. So the user level is a 1. So this is a read only. I've set this to project. All right, this should now be schedule object. And schedule object permissions. I'm now second guessing myself, so let's just double. No, it's scheduled object. So permission set, scheduled object, and then that should be scheduled object. Easy done. And then that should. We go over here, wait for a little while, we hit refresh. I'm just gonna hit play. We're just going to step forward. So the user level should be 0. This is less. All right, cool. And permission denied. Boom. Okay, cool. I'm going to do the team member. Not team member, sorry, team leader. All right, team leader. Let's just go localhost. Let's jump in. Let's go team leader. Let's go into schedule. Let's go scheduled objects. Now we hit the thing. That should be done. All right. And then the user level is a 0. All right, so we might not have set the permissions for this. Not a problem. Let's jump in. Oh, sorry. Permission set. Let's jump in. We've got the team leader in here, so full permissions. We just scroll down here. Yeah, we don't have full permissions on there. So I'm going to hit save. This should now work. So I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to hit play. And it works perfectly fine. Where did I learn to develop? So, bit of a weird story. So when I went to university, I learned maths. And they taught us C, MATLAB, and Maple. I can't write very well. I don't have my little thing set up tonight, so yeah, I'm using the mouse. From there, I got a job. I a lot of my programming skills had a lot of transferable knowledge. I sort of learned C++ a little bit. I learned Python, and then yeah, I jumped into web development. A lot of the stuff that I have learned has been through Googling, reading documentation, and just experimentation from that particular point on. So, yeah. All right, scheduled object. Now, I'm going to do this particular one, but I'm going to actually go in as the admin user, and I'm going to remove the group that that user has access to, like that. So, update scheduled object, that group is no longer there. So, if I hit refresh, this isn't working. Alright, this should have worked. Now, it could be because I've got something wrong in here. So we've got scheduled object. Yeah, that hasn't been deleted, but that particular functionality should have. And it's just us just debugging it. So I'm going to put a breakpoint there. I'm going to go back into here. I'm just going to hit refresh. We should hit this. So I'm going to go forward. This now should have. Oh, it's got something of none. Have I set up the quags wrong? Yeah, I probably set up the quags. All right, Python dictionary. Check as value. All right, so go in here. Okay, not what I wanted. Check check if key exists. That's the word I want. Not already exists, but exists. Okay, cool. So Python get attribute from dict. Oh, all right. There we go. So yeah, it was a line that's wrong. So I'm just going to comment that out very, very quickly. We're going to go scheduled object ID equals quags.get, and then we've got the scheduled object ID, otherwise it will be none as a default. We're going to now test everything over again. I'm just going to hit stop and start again. Oh, I should also state that FreeCodeCamp is also, if you're looking for resources, FreeCodeCamp. Alright, it is run. I'm going to go back over here. We are going to hit refresh. So this works perfectly fine. It's the admin user. This, well, how old are you? I'm old. So, yeah. Yeah, I'm just old. All right, still doing that for that. I'm going to put a breakpoint on here. I'm going to hit refresh. So we've hit this at quarks.get. Have I done that correctly? Yeah, dict.get. We're going to move that forward. So the scheduled object ID, oh, it's still none, is schedule. All right, schedule. I'm gonna have to go through a lot of this and uniform it to either scheduled or schedule, and I think that's bug worthy to be put into here. We have some inconsistencies. We have a lot of inconsistencies within the code when dealing with scheduled objects. It is either written down as schedule objects or scheduled objects. You'll need to pick one and update. So I'm working on NearBeach, which is an open source project management system. So yeah, so if you've ever thought of building a project or anything like that, yeah, hopefully NearBeach can help you manage it, at least. All right, so submitted. This is going to be assigned to me. This is going to be part of a, let's say, data, or this is part of code. Do we have a smells? No. All right. I'm going to put this as code smells. I'm adding a new value. It's going to be pink. We're probably going to have to worry about this with 0.32. So, yeah. Yeah, so hopefully you find it useful if you do actually use it. We do have a Discord. Oops, wrong one. There we go. Nightbot takes a little while to sort of, yeah, there we go. So, yeah. So yeah, scheduled object. So if we now go into here and we hit refresh, we now should hit this. If we go forward by 1, we should have object ID is 1. So that should activate all of that. And then it just crashed. Cannot resolve keyword, scheduled object. Oh, okay, cool. It will be scheduled object ID. So yeah, I just need consistency throughout this whole entire code. This is new functionality. It's fine. We've made a mistake, or I've made a mistake, and I've written these bugs in. So yeah, it's all it takes is just me going through and fixing it up. All right, greater between none type and int. All right, something's broke in here. I'm going to put this on there. I'm just going to hit refresh, hope for the best. We're going to go forward, 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 back, forward, back, forward, back, forward. And this is an empty query set. All right. So user doesn't have any permissions. Yep, all right, cool. Nope, I need to make sure user has permissions at this particular point. So if length of the user group result is actually greater than 0, then we continue on to the next section, which will be all of this. Otherwise, we know that they've failed straight away, and we're just going to permission deny. Easy done. So, getting back into here, we just going to hit refresh until we can, there we go, access denied. So if I go back into here and I'm like, no, I'm going to be nice, I'm going to add in the QA team to that particular person, they come back and boom, they've got permissions again. The same with the saving and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I'm just now trying to think what we need to potentially do. I'm going to open up this. We're going to bump it up to the left so you guys can see what I'm going to do. I'm just going to click on the view stuff. We're going to have a look at the view X for a second. There should be a user level in here. So the user level is a 4. So it does pass down the user level into here with a read-only permission. Let's see what actually happens. So I want to go into the permission sets. I want to go into the full permission. I'm just going to scroll down and I'm just going to do read only for this particular user, and we're just going to hit save. Easy done. We're going to go back over here. We're going to hit refresh. If we hit in here, we go to the user level. Ooh, it should not be a user level 4. They should be a user level 1, and I'm going to double check that with this down here. I'm going to put a breakpoint on right here, and I'm just going to hit refresh. So we should have a user level in here. It's evaluating it. I'm just going to it's done that thing again. I'm just going to stop and reload. This happens every now and then. Okay, so that should have been booted up. We're going to hit reload. We're now hitting this. And then if we go into here, it's a 1. So that user level should pass down into my function. Oh, there's a lot of things that I got to do. All right, I'm just going to hit play. It's just, so we know it's a user level 1. I want to pass that down to the front end. So we're opening up the scheduler view. So, oh, all right. I'm going to minimize everything. We're going to open up NearBeach. We're going to open up NearBeach again. We're going to open up the templates, and we're going to look at how I actually wrote this information to the front end. So we're going to open up the object scheduler, and we're going to go object scheduler information. So in here, we've got all this. So we've got the user group and level, user group and level, user group results. So what the user group has access to and all that kind of fun stuff. The user level. Oh, nearly stabbed myself with my pen. User group and level. All right. How did I get that? All right. So, I did hit play, didn't I? Probably not. Let's just hit refresh. This should reload. If it doesn't, we cry a little inside. There we go. So we should be passing into here the user level, user group and level. And we have it like that. And I think I was doing something on the front end to prevent people from posting to the back end and stuff like that, but I think I'm just going to do this a little easier now. Which means I need to make changes to the front end. Okay, cool. Yep, not a problem. All right, so if we jump into user level, we'll have something like that. So if we have a look in the system, user level like that, you see we bind that one. Yeah, I'm not doing the file. Yeah, all right, cool. So as you see, we're doing something like this with the user level. So we're just going to copy that. We're going to go over into the template itself. We are going to paste it in. Now I'm a bit. Give me a couple of seconds. I just want to see how I've set this up. So we've got user group results, user group and level. I want to get rid of this user group level. Because if we've got a permission that states, hey, this person can actually schedule these objects, it literally means that, yeah, they can. It doesn't matter if it's a project task or anything like that. We're going to have a sort of user permission that revolves around this. I'm going to get rid of the user group and level stuff in here. So that's gone. That's perfectly fine. The user group results, I'm going to keep that because the system does kind of need to know what groups the user has. Once again, we're going to eventually move this into the API and all that kind of fun stuff too. So the user will get those pretty quickly. So we'll need user group and level, which is done. I'll need the schedule object information. I'm just going to close that tab. We don't need it anymore. We're going to close that one. We're going to close that one. Task views, yeah, we're going to close that one. Object permissions, yeah, we don't need that one. Organizer, we don't need that. I'm pretty happy with this. This is fine. We're getting rid of that. Yeah, this one will be fine. I'm going to close that. Perfectly fine. So we now need to fix the front end. So I'm going to close that. I'm going to open up that. I'm going to open up the source. I'm going to open up the JavaScript. I'm going to open up the components. I'm going to open up the object scheduler. This is part of the new object scheduler, isn't it? We don't have, oh no, we've got schedule object information. Have I named it wrong in here? And yeah, I haven't updated it in here. That's a big boo-boo. That will be scheduled object information, like that. Easy done. So we're importing a bunch of stuff. Yep, that's all fine and dandy. We're going to go down into the procs, and down here we've got user group and level. Now I'm just going to remove that and we're going to see what breaks. So user group and level. So checked object group model. Calculate to see if the user has create permissions for any of the. Alright, so the idea here is checked object group model, whether or not the user has permissions for it. This is the old method. Once again, we're creating a new permission set that deals with this. We're no longer doing anything overly complicated or anything like that. It's going to be simple as. So display is filter. Calculate to see if the user has create permissions for any of the groups. Ooh, yeah, we don't need that anymore. We're just going to disappear. Calculate to see if the user group exists in the object group model, which is what we want. So what that means is, if I'm up this off to the right, down here, if let's say this particular user is only in QA team, if I remove that, we want something popping up down here being like, hey, no, you can't do that. You won't be able to actually create this because you won't have permission for this administration. So, sorry. Now that will be that. Wrong key. So we can get rid of that. Calculate to see if the user groups exist in the object group model. This dot display permission issues. As there's no validation yet, we'll use a toast to notify the user. So if this group model validation. That being said, if I just undo that. No, that's pretty big. Oh, it's been a while. No create permissions for groups. Please note the current groups selected, you do not have create permissions. Please add in a group. Yeah, all right, cool. Yep, that's the. Yep, that's what we want. Now, const update the user level. User level equals calculated user level. In this sort of case, we're just going to send up user level like that. Easy done. We're going to create that right now. So going up to the props. So that's data. Here are the props. So this will be user level. This will be type of number. Default is going to be 0. Easy done. So yeah, that's part of the props. Now, did I do that wrong? Oh no, I just haven't added this user level. Easy mistakes. There we go. So when it gets mounted, it's like, all right, cool, the user level is set like this. I'll be perfectly fine. All right, so that will be fine. That's just committing the root and static URL for all the different components. Before mount, process theme update. Yeah, that just processes the theme. Going up to here, we've got async update scheduler object. So validate the object is form correct. So that just validates everything. Display group permissions issues. All right, cool. We'll have to test this. So this dot group validation. I need to test that. But I can test it without syncing. So yeah, if. Okay, so I think that will compile. That is compiling. Awesome news. We're just gonna hit refresh on here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to undo that one. We should see with the scheduled object information, I need to bump this off to the left so you guys can actually see what I'm seeing. So with the scheduled object information, the props we're fine with. The user level is going to be 0. All right, this is a problem. That should have passed up into here, user level 0. Sweet, we need to actually pass that in through this. So we get rid of this now. We still need the user group results. It'll be user group and level. User group and level. Yeah, we won't need those anymore. And then what we need to pass down is user level. And that's just going to be so. I am just double checking that. You know, that's the change user task. All right, cool. That just works. So I'm happy with that. All right. So we should now be passing through the user level. We're going to hit refresh, and it doesn't want to reload. We're going to hit refresh again. VueJS's plugin doesn't like me at times. We should see user level as 1. Good. And if we double check this, good. All right, cool. So that is working. Got that information passing down. I don't think I saw anything break. We didn't have anything break. I'm going to move this off to the right again. We are going to take off that. Nothing broke, but I should not be able to. Yeah, sorry, we could not create the scheduled object for you. Error Axios. Request failed. State 403. So 403 is permission denied. No, that's a permission denied. All right, we need to actually tell the user that removing that particular thing is. Yeah, we're going to get a 403 anyway because it's a read only. But we need to state that the group lists won't work. So going into the view, we're just going to click on this. So when we made that change with the group permissions, group model validation true, display group permissions issue, that's going to be a false. All right. I probably removed it. So what I'm going to do is we're going to scroll down to where we check group object models and stuff like that. So display group permissions equals user group results dot filter and return to do. So display group permission issues, user group results. So dot filter row return this dot object model includes row dot ID. Oh no, this is just a count. So we're making sure this is a Venn diagram. If we were doing this is just a simple Venn diagram where we've got the user groups over here, and then what we're assigned the object, so the object groups, and then this is what we want. All right, and this has to be greater than 0. That's that. All right. And how was the setup? Let's actually have a look. I probably just deleted code, and I'm like, no, I could probably modify it a little bit better. So we're actually searching for this particular functionality in here. Oh, and it's not letting me search in this repository. There we go. This is actually a part of the methods. Am I not copying that? All right. That was weird. All right, here. This is where we want to go. So check group. So that's our first one. Calculate to see if the user has create permissions for any of their. So we just haven't updated that. And all right, so if I copy that, paste it back in, we're gonna get rid of this because once again this group doesn't exist. So what we're doing, so updating the group model validation, and that's to calculate the user levels and all that kind of stuff. What's the matter, Socks? Wherever you are, I can't tell. I just heard a cack. Yeah, alright, so we want to make sure that the users display permission issues. And then we've got the user groups and the object model. Alright. It's like at the tip. You know when you're like, I know what I want, but I'm just trying to remember what is the naming convention, how did I set this up and stuff like that. That's where I am with this. So what I want to do is I've got user group results. All right, cool. I've got to make sure these user group results exist in the group list, which is the object group model down here. So the one and that have got to match up. So the user group results filter row return this object group model. Yep, that includes that, and the length is 0. So the display group permission issues should be appearing, but I don't know where this is called. So I am going to go check object group model. So on update, we should be going down here. We're not doing this properly. So what I got to do is I'm just going to put in a couple of console logs. Hey Socks, what's the matter? You okay? Okay. All right, in here, what I want to do, console log. We're going to go display group permission issues, and we're just going to go like that. Easy done. Yes, Socks. What's the matter? Give me it. There we go. Now, I know these won't work, and I keep doing that freaking thing. I know these won't work. In reality, this should fail too. Yeah, we've probably simplified this. We probably don't need this variable anymore, but I want to see what the outcome is first. So we've got that built. We're going to hit refresh. We're going to hit our console. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out the QA team. Display group, all right, false. I don't want to believe this. So I'm just going to copy this. I'm going to go down here. I'm going to go var a equals. I'm just going to paste it in. Easy done. So we've got a var a. And then I'm going to go an a here. And I'm just going to go a. In here, what we want to do is we want to do something like that. We also want to go console log and then a row. And I am realizing that we've just hit an ad break again. So, yay. For those on YouTube, you run ads every half an hour on Twitch just to stop pre-rolled ads, which suck. We tend to do this so no one misses out on any content. So, yeah, hopefully everyone's going well. Yeah, we're doing some progress tonight. So yeah, this should be fixed pretty shortly. It is 9 o'clock. I will be wrapping up probably in half an hour to an hour. I'm slowly working my way back to the 6:30 to 10 o'clock streams now that I am actually feeling more awake at this time of night. So yeah, the road to recovery is long sometimes. So yeah. Also, I'm realizing I need a new haircut. The beard is getting out of control, so yeah. Alright, we've got about 30 seconds left for the ads. Yeah, hopefully they won't take too long. Well, they'll take 30 seconds, so yeah. We'll see how far of the cube I can do. I'm going to go down here with this. I'm going to go up like this. I'm going to do like that. And I'm going to go like that. And I am going to quickly do this. And I really need to learn how to speed cube better. You know, learn more. And welcome back, everyone. I didn't get to finish it in time, but that's perfectly fine. So we're going to go over here. We're going to go console log. We're going to go row. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to do that. We're going to go row. And then we're just going to type in row. And then we're just going to type in the object group model. And I'm going to do that. It caused a lot of problems. And let's see what happens. We're gonna wait for it to compile. That shouldn't take too long to do. Oh, it should be done by now. So once again, I'm gonna undo the QA. We're going to have object group model, true. Okay, no problem. Going to do that because I want to actually see the ID. Before any of this starts, I'm also going to go console log. This will be user group results, and it will quite literally just be this.user group results like that. Easy done. Let's get over here. Let's wait maybe a second or two. Let's hit reload. Let's take out the QA team. So if I take out the QA team, we've got the user group results. So if we actually open this up, we've got the group ID 2 and QA team. So that's the only result we have in here. If we go down here, we've got group ID 2. Oh. So user group, oh yeah, 2. In the object group model. I probably need to also put that in here too. Log the object group model. Easy done. Let's go back over here. I will just go and wait just a couple of seconds. We're going to hit reload. I'm going to do the same thing in here. So we've got the object group model. We have 1 and 2 in the... Oh. Alright, so I can see what's happened here. It's still got the old data. Even though we've made a change and so forth like that, it hasn't updated everything yet. Alright, cool. So I know the problem with this. And what we could do, just wondered if we got watches in here and stuff like that, is instead of on update, check group models and stuff like that, I'm just going to get rid of that. Easy done. don't have watches. So I'm going to scroll all the way down. I'm going to go... so before mount, async before mount. Yep, alright, cool. Because now we won't be checking that, so I'll be... doing that. But before the methods, what I want to do, I want to have a watch in here, and I want to watch the object group model. I need a file mask for that. Watch. Yeah, so it's an object and then functions. Yeah, object and functions. Yeah, alright, cool. So what we're going to do is check, validate just validate the user permissions. Essentially, calculated, that is just going to be the same like that. Easy done. And then what we're going to do is we're going to copy this. We're going to paste them in. Now, you'll see group model validation. Oh, I'm going to change that to... Yeah, where's the display permission issues? None of the groups were included. You'll have permission object. All right, cool. That's false. Yep. Update schedule object. All right, cool. Cool. I'm just thinking. Group model validation. Ooh, alright, where's that one taken? Seeing how this all fits together. No create permissions for group, please note. Alright, cool, yeah. That one, I think is a duplicate. It's, yeah. Whoops, wrong button. I keep doing that. In this sort of case, I think we don't need it anymore. But yeah, I think we won't need this because this display the group permissions issues is going to stop people from submitting stuff. And yeah, we're just simplifying the code. Oh, that hurt then. So getting rid of all of that. Calculate user level. We won't need that. We're deleting that. That's all good. So the object group model. This is. Hey. Sorry. Give me 2 seconds. Alright, sorry about that. When they start fighting, sometimes they just like to not stop, and it's just like, oh god, stop. Alright, so display. Alright, no, that's not the thing. It was display group permissions, object group model. Yep, alright, so I've got to copy that because that won't work if I do something like that. Alright, cool. Now, in theory, this what should be used in the new group model, but what we're going to do, we're going to pass it through just in case. So instead of doing this, it will be the new value includes what we have, and then we've got something like that, and that's just to do that very, very quickly, and that should work. We're gonna do something like that. All right, you okay there, Socks? You're like, no. Was he just around the corner and you're like, ah? Which does happen. So he'll be there sitting, and Socks will come around the corner, all max, and you know, and then ah. All right. Oh no, it built successfully. I don't know why I was staring at the 3 errors. All right, give me a couple of seconds. Sorry, that takes a little while to sort of boot up. You're gonna say hi to chat? No, you're still jumping around and stuff like that. All right. Cool. So in here, what we want to do is we want to reload. So everything fine so far. We're just going to do that. All right, this is perfect. I'm going to scoot this up to the right. So none of the users groups were included. Yep, there it goes. So that's how we're going to tackle that problem from now on. Yeah. Now the next thing to do is if a user is read-only, we're going to get rid of this. We should also tack on the ability that the user can't edit any of this whatsoever, that a lot of this is not editable and stuff like that. We do that in other places. So if we go over to the read only and we go find objects, and let's just find not a Kanban board, that's not a good example, but the task. With the tasks, we can't really edit anything in here. We can with the story points. But yeah, we shouldn't be able to sort of edit anything in here or imply that the user can edit anything in here. It should be solidified. So, we're going to essentially do the same thing. And I'm trying to remember how we do it with tasks, and I don't know if we do it at the template level, and I'm quickly having a very quick look. So we're going to go to NearBeach NearBeach templates, NearBeach again. We've got the tasks in here, and we've got the task information. So task information, all right, no, it isn't done at this particular level, and that's okay. The next thing we want to actually have a look at is the level lower. So I'm just going to open up task information in the front end in the VueJS. And we've got this all in here. If task close, yep, task close, description, class form, is read only. All right, so that's how we do it. We have an is read only user flag, and it's something we could potentially do. The reason why we don't cover it throughout the whole entire thing is sometimes users might be given extra permission. So for example, uploading a documentation and stuff like that, where it's just easier for us to do it by fields like this. So that is something we should implement, but not necessarily needed today. What we could potentially do is, if we have a look at the scheduled information, get rid of the button at the bottom. That's an easy way to tell people that this can't be used. So update scheduled object. In here, what we want to do is a v if the user level is greater than 1. So if it's 2, 3, or 4. That's it. That's all we need to do. So this will actually stop us from, even if we did that, it'll tell us that the fields need to be filled in, which is fine. Even if we did something like that and updated schedule, it'll come up as a 403 because we can't submit it to the back end. All right, so if we hit refresh now, you'll see that we get that button disappears, and we've got all of this. So yeah, that's pretty awesome. I'm happy. So yeah. What do I want to do next? I think that's pretty much it. We can go through and make all these fields read-only. It's something pretty easy to do, just time consuming and stuff like that. We can put in a little bug report, take a screenshot. There we go. Yep, save page. Copy. So we can put this in as an issue very, very quickly. Actually, before I do, read-only user has access to. Oh yeah, we're doing that right now. So we'll put this in. Read-only user can edit/play around with fields on schedule object. All right, cool. So this one isn't as high. Users can't, read-only users can't save that. Save. The fields should all be read-only. So we're putting this as a bug because I can't be bothered fixing it right now. It's a minor issue. Actually, I'm going to put it as a normal issue because I do want to kind of fix it. I don't want to ignore it. So we're going to assign that to me. This is the schedule objects. This will be fixed in one of these particular versions. I'm going to archive all of those particular versions. All right, cool. I'm going to create this. I'm going to untag that. So this particular bug, this is ready for retesting. So we've got to test this out. It does require me to write unit tests around this. So I should put in a note being like, we have implemented permissions. We now need to implement unit tests around this. This will mean updating the fixtures connected to this object, connected to this permission set. All right, cool. I'm gonna add that in right now. It's done. So this is ready for retesting. We just need to do the unit test for this particular section. Yeah, it shouldn't take too long to do. In fact, I can do that now. Let's just close all of these tabs. Let's minimize everything. Let's open up NearBeach. Let's open up the NearBeach fixtures. So we've got the no setup. So the no setup, we don't actually have the permission set up, which is great. That's the plain old stuff. The GDPR stuff. Oh, we'll need to modify all of that. Give me 2 seconds. NearBeach permission sets. Let's see if there's any in here. All right, I am going to have to use the find proper tool. So find. We're going to go NearBeach dot permission set. It's like that. All right, cool. So we've got the administration permission set. We've got the power permission set. We've got the normal permission set. We've got the read-only permission set, and that's it. So we've just got to add in a couple of stuff in here. So this will go under here. This will be a schedule object, and this will be a 1. So after that, scheduled object, I think this will be this is a power user. I'm just thinking if it's a 1. Actually, the above one should be a 4. This is an administration. NearBeach administration. Scheduled object. That's definitely a 4. I'm going to go with 3 with the create. This is the normal. This will be a 2, and then we'll have this is a read-only permission set. Requirement either. All right, this will belong here. We'll have a 1 there. And then we'll need to create, there'll be the person with no access and stuff like that, which we will be able to do. So, and then we'll be able to test the other. All right, cool. The idea being is I kind of want to do a range where you've got a normal user who can edit but can't create. You've got like a team leader who can create, and then you've got the admin who can delete and stuff like that. So yeah, I kind of wanted to do that little bit of range. Yeah. So we should only have 4 in there. Yep, that's perfectly fine. We're going to do the exact same thing with the basic setup. So that will be NearBeach.permission set. There we go. We found it. So down here, we're just going to go bang. This will be a 4. We're just going to go to the next one, and then task, and then bang. And this one will be, what did we put? We put it as a create, yeah. With the add and edit. Bang. All right, this will be, I've read these wrong. All right, hang on. Administration, full permission. All right, cool. That's a 4. This will be a 3. Add and edit. All right, cool. Edit only. This will be a 2. So we're following the exact same sort of guidelines that we've put into here. And that just makes testing a lot easier to do. Here will be a 1. And then read only plus extra. This will be down here. This will still be a 1. And then we don't have no permissions, do we? So admin, full, edit, read only plus S. Yeah, we don't have any no permissions in here. No problem. That is something we could look at implementing as a specific sort of user case later on. Yeah. Anyway, so in theory, with that set up now, oops. If we go over here and we go Python 3 manage test, all the tests should just currently run. We're just waiting for these tests now. Yep, they're all ran. All right, cool. So, cool. All right. Let's write some unit tests very, very quickly. Let's just minimize that. Let's open up that. Let's go tests. Oh, that's the end-to-end sort of test. We need the NearBeach. We need the tests. And this would be user permissions. This will be, we're going to add in the admin one. So the fixture will be the basic setup. Username, password will, yep, that's all right. This is our big testing one. But because we set up the tests like this, it's pretty easy to sort of copy and paste what we have done in here into the lower tests. We do need a no permission user. So a user that is set to the team, as set to a group, but has the permissions of nothing to sort of test everything. That's something we will do one day. Yeah. All right, cool. So what we're actually looking for in here is the schedule. And this is where we need the URLs. I'm just going to open up this. I'm just going to post that to the side. We just need it for that. So we've got the scheduled objects. So past scheduled objects, we need that one in here, where that is a simple get, and we're happy with it. All right, cool. The next one would be this. And this is the ID, scheduled object ID. So this would have I do believe it is a 1 in here. I'm just double checking this. It's been a while since I've done this, so give me a couple of seconds. Change task information. Yeah. So it'll be a 1, and it'll be a get. There'll also be. So if I have a look at the schedule sort of stuff, back to scheduled objects. So I think all of these. So that's number 2, 8, 13, and 1. I need to do this as an admin, because yeah, there's a lot more in here. So 1, 2, let's open up this. So 1, definitely. 2, all right. I'm trying to find one where yeah, there we go. Number 3, where the group list only has administration in it. For a reason, because it should pass for the admin, but fail for the QA team, who don't have administration privileges. So we've got the scheduled object information. We've got the scheduled objects. So having a look at this, we've got that, and then we've got to do the save. So I'm going to copy those 2 lines. We're going to paste them after, and we're going to just paste that. It's just going to be easier if I just all right, cool, not a problem. Sorry, I thought there was a shortcut that I could do. It just wasn't working for me. So we've got that. So we've got the 1 and that. Now we need some data. So there's a cheat method to this. What I want to do, I want to go into the network, get rid of persistent logs because they suck. I'm just going to update scheduler. And what we're going to do is we're going to click on this. We've got the request like this. Oh, actually, Just trying to remember, there was a way of doing this. No, that's not it. Ugh, nope. Ah. Damn. Sorry, I thought there was a quick way of getting this in as a JSON. Sort of thing. Not a problem. We'll just go through one by one. We're just going to enter them in one by one. And we're going to, tell you what, it'll be easy just to copy this one line and actually do it for the rest. So we'll have object type. That's going to be a 1. And then, yeah, we used to be able to do this. How did I do it? Yeah, all right, not a problem. Object. Object title, trim beard. Paste that in. So yeah, we're just copying quite a lot of the stuff. Object description. Object description, we'll just pass that through. That's perfectly fine. Object start date. We will actually nick this from here because it's going to be 10 times easier to do it like that. We want object end date. And once again, we're just going to paste that in like that. We're happy like that. Group list. Now this will be I think something like that. What I'm doing is I'm having a very quick look at what I've previously done. No simple test. All right, cool. It will be scrolling all the way up. Part of this up here. Kanban list. Yep. Alright, project information. Oh, we don't do much with the posts in here, do we? That's something I need to sit down and actually go through and be like, alright, cool, we need to actually test all this posting. Okay. Yeah, I think it's just that. I sent group lists like that because it's expecting a list. Days before. Zero, easy done. Number of repeats, -1. Easy done. Sorry, this does take a little while. I do apologize. I'm not the... I really need to do more unit tests. I'm not the fan of writing them because, yeah, you do a lot of this and I gotta find a quicker way of doing this. So, yeah, and laying stuff out in this test sheet is just painful. Alright, and there's other things I could do. We're going to test for certain failures and all kind of fun stuff. So, alright, we need it like that, and then everyone will be happy like that. Alright, cool. So, schedule end of day. Alright, cool. I'm just going to paste it like that, and then we're just going to do that, and then we're just going to copy, yeah, we're just going to copy that one. Schedule start date. Single day. Saturday, he's done. Yeah. Getting through this slowly. How's everyone doing? I know this looks very, very boring. It is. So, yes. I kinda wish there was a better way of doing this. So, yeah. And Ginny, sorry, mucked up your name. Ginny, how are you going? Long time no hear. I'm out of the sling. So yeah, welcome, welcome. I will give you a shout out. Ginny again. Yeah, how have you been? How's the game dev going? And if you don't know, yeah, Chin does. I keep saying Chin-chan. Chin-kian. Sorry. Yeah, it does a lot of game development and stuff like that. So yeah, do give him a follow if you're on Twitch. So he was active. That'll be true. Oh, this will pass through as a string like that, I think. Alright, cool. So, in theory, that should work. And I've got to run the tests just to make sure that does work. Working on stream workshop stuff. Nice. What you're working on? So I've added a new permission set into NearBeach. So nowadays, anyone who wants to create scheduled tasks will need permission to create scheduled tasks. With the idea being that it will look at the scheduled task and be like, all right, cool. That person can create the scheduled task. Sweet. And then, yeah. Essentially, I've just simplified the scheduled tasks, permission systems, and stuff like that. It was, yeah, last stream I was doing it. It was just a mess of code being like, oh, I've got to check this, got to check that, to make sure that, yeah. And the instant I strip it out, I've deleted quite a lot of the code and made it really, really nice. So, yeah. Working on that. We're just implementing the unit tests at the moment, which I probably spent way too long, like 10 minutes, just doing that array. So yeah. What were you up to? Oh wait, I already asked that. Yeah, working on Streamworks. Yeah. All right. Cool. Sorry. Yeah. So getting there. So I've just done the save. That should deal with the that particular one, and that's all the endpoints for that. So yeah, now I've got to do is essentially copy all of this. We are going to make sure different users have different permissions for this. So for example, a read-only user won't be able to create, but they might be able to search. So I am going to go into NearBeach tests. We are wanting to test specific user permissions. So we're just on the admin. We will just quickly do the read-only. We've got to scroll all the way down here. We're just going to add in that data right now. Now this won't work. This is all, actually no. Scheduled objects will work. This will work. This one won't work. This one will give us a 403. This one will work. This will give us a 403 because we don't have permission. And this will give us a 403 because we don't have permission. All right, cool, sweet. I'm gonna test that because if I make a mistake, I don't want to try and figure out which user the mistake is on. So yeah, Hopefully everyone's going well from Ginny's stream. So yeah, let me give my introduction because I just realized I didn't actually do that. I'm Robotic Head. I'm working on an open source project management system. Hopefully it will help you manage you building your games. So yeah, the idea being is, and we've got it up here at the moment. Let me just move that to the right. You've got basic organization and customer information. You've got your Kanban boards. You've got your requirements, which you can now break down into individual requirement items. From here, you can create tasks and projects, and when you're ready for a deployment, you've got a request for change. So yeah, we're working on the scheduler tonight. Once again, we've added in a permission set for this. This was a very, very confusing with its permissions and stuff like that. It was just, no. We're allowing people who have the ability to do it to now just create a scheduled object, and it doesn't matter what type of object it is if they've got the permission for the scheduled object. So yeah, now we've failed twice with our tests. So test page loads successfully. All right, cool. Scheduled object information. All right, where is this? URL test, scheduled object information, arg, date, method, get, test read only. Yep, all right, cool, test read only. This would be for URL scheduled object information. So args1. Might have gotten this around the wrong way. Let's have a look at the scheduled objects. Let's double click. It's the 3 they don't have permission to. I got that around the wrong way. Anyway, that one and that one is still 403. It's, sorry. And that should be like that. So yeah. All right, let's test that out. Let's make sure I've done the correct thing here. Yeah. Quite easy to make a mistake when doing unit tests, and this is why I like to do it one piecemeal at a time. Because yeah, there's been times I've done a bunch of stuff and then it just all failed, and I cried. It was a sad day. So yeah, going through. All right, sweet. Alright, I think I still got it on the clipboard, but I'm just copying it instead. So the read-only with extras, we don't need to worry about this particular one because we're not implementing the extras on top of it. Redirect of non-logged in users. Yes, we would need to actually put it into here. That will be next. So the team leader. So we're just scrolling down to the bottom of the team leader one. So as you see, it does quite a lot of calls in here. So the team leader should be pretty much all the same, except with this one. This one will be 200. And then the user permissions. All right, this is, yeah, logging in as admin. All right, I don't need a test for admin. All right, I think this is a bunch of stuff I don't need to worry about at the moment, but we do need to worry about this one. So this is a non-logged logged in user. So test customer information page. All right, that's fine. Test dashboard, test documentation, test Kanban. All right, we're going to need to new object. All right, test objects get. All right, yeah, we're just going to need to make a new one for this. Not a problem. What we could do. Now this is test documentation. No. Test dashboard. No. Do we have projects in here? We've got the Kanban information. And that's going to all the projects. So that's a get, that's a post. I think we're not differentiating between. All right, hang on. Let me asserts redirect to login. Let's go to that implementation. So asserts. So response to alert, login, source code, all right. Yeah, I think I just keyed in. I don't think. Yeah, all right, see, yep, all right, cool. Yeah, I gotta do it like this document here. I'm just gonna copy. I'm gonna paste. I know I'm cheating. So this would be checked object scheduler. Oh, yep, like that. Then the simple test object scheduler. Easy done. Make sure client, and then we've just got to redo all of these. Check the array, set 405. Redirect to login. Now, I'm just having a quick gander at how I've set up the view. So object scheduler view. Yeah, we redirect. All right, cool. So assert redirect to login. We won't need this one. That's perfectly fine. In here, what we need to do is we just need to copy the scheduler stuff. So that will be scheduled objects. So I'm just gonna, oops, sorry about that. Scheduled objects, like so. This is just searching it. There's no arguments whatsoever, so we don't need to worry about that. And then what we need to do is for the information one, I'm just going to paste in 2. Easy done. And then the args are going to be 1 and 3. Because those are the ones we are testing. Easy done. And then we want to do the same thing with the save. So I'm going to paste that in, and I'm going to paste that in. Ooh, we don't need that one. And once again, we are just going to do it like that. Like so. Easy done. So what's happening here is this will actually, it's just got a bunch of lists in here. It will make sure that all of these have actually gone to the login screen, which is what we want. We want this to redirect to the login screen. And that should be the test for that. And let's just do a test. It should run through perfectly fine. We've got 87 tests now. We'll have heaps soon. It's going to be amazing. All right. We've got a couple of Fs in there, so I've definitely broken something, but we'll have a quick look. And it could be that I've did the something else wrong. So we've got 400 instead of 403. So the following test will make sure the team leader cannot access most of the. This is part of test team leader. So we've got 400 instead of 403. That means we've found an issue. All right, so this is when sending information. Yeah, this shouldn't really matter. So I just remembered one thing. With the unit tests, if we actually go to the team leader, so here's the team leader and stuff like that, I'm pretty sure we don't need to actually declare any of this because we're expecting a 403, permission denied. And that's meant to be a 3. Alright. That's why. So 1 we still need. But yeah, 3 we won't. And there's something broken in here that it's like, it doesn't like it. I have a feeling it's to do with this, and we should be doing something like that. Let's have a quick look. Actually, no, it shouldn't be like, because we got it working on the admin side of things. Yeah, alright, cool. That should be true. Because it works on the admin side of things. Yeah, this one works perfectly fine. And why it's... Alright, yeah, 400 doesn't equal 200. So we've got something wrong in here, which is weird because it should be the same as the admin. Don't know why. All right, let's go to scheduler 1. Let's open this up as a team leader. So here they are. If we scroll down, oh, they're read only. Yeah, that should be 403. No, hang on. Sorry, I got the permissions around wrong. If I go permission sets, admin, no, wrong one. I want the full permissions. I scroll down. But I am going to put this one on full permissions. Then if I refresh this, we should be able to save, and it does save. But we're getting a 400, which doesn't equal 200, so something's gone wrong with somewhere. So if we go HTTP cat and you put in 400, you get this lovely bad request. Oops. So what I'm going to do with this particular case is I'm going to grab, yeah, and that one should be a 3. I'm going to grab this. We're just going to go copy. We're going to go over to the team leader and we're just going to paste it in. Why we're doing that is we're just making sure I haven't missed anything. Why it doesn't affect the admin who's doing 2 of these saves, I don't know. And that's the other thing, is I've got to make sure I'm doing a save. Let's... Yeah. All right, so now we have something up our sleeve. Hang on a minute. These are meant to be posts. They're not meant to be gets. Alright, read only. Let's have a look. Once again, read only because we're expecting these to fail. We can actually do something like that. That's easy done. And yeah, we don't need to feed it data that we're not expecting. And yeah, these should be posts. So I'll quickly fix those. Yeah, that's got to be a post. I don't know why this one's working. All right, so going back here, we're going to do this. Now I've just got to wait. Still got that one F. I would laugh if it's somewhere else and that I'm looking in the wrong place for this, which is highly likely. Always happens. Yeah. Alright, so in here, what we've got is we've got a 400 doesn't equal 200. Let's actually check the pages themselves. So we've got NearBeach, test user permissions, team leader. Alright, cool. It is NearBeach test, yada yada yada. URL, object save. Yeah. That is the one. Okay. And I don't know why it works for admin and not for this particular user. I haven't set up anything wrong. No. I'm confused. Alright. This might be one of those things I have to figure out. Okay. Oh, I know why. Alright. I think it's because the group list actually needs my group in it. No. Bad keyboard. My group list needs my group in it. And I think that's why we've got the issue. So, yeah. It's just a silly mistake on my behalf. Let's fix that up very, very quickly. So yes, we purposely got a 400 back, if that is the case. Oh, no, that isn't it. Okay. Is it because I edit it like that on the test admin? And in reality, I should be doing that, and I should be doing that. Okay, let's find out. Let's see if we can get more Fs. Hopefully not. No, we got that F back again. Okay. But why? Okay. Let's delve a little bit deeper. So with the team leader, we go through all this yada yada yada. The first one is get, do that, assert equal, let's, okay, cool. I'm just gonna put a little, if the data dot, yeah, what's the, I forget what that one, I think that's just URL. Oh, what is it again? What is this? What, Python debug break. Breakpoint. Breakpoint. All right, I'm going to do that. And then hopefully we can get a breakpoint, find out what's going wrong. So just going through all of that, we need to fix up all of those warnings later. All right, so we've got this. Then hopefully what I could do is, let's go data. We should see the data stuff. All right, cool. We should see the response. Like that. All right, response dot type of. All right, give me a couple of seconds. Type of response. All right. I've got that wrong. Okay, so Django response type. Request objects. So yeah, we'll be getting that. I just want to see the got the init, got that. Not what I wanted. Oh, sorry about that. All right. Python get all keys of object. Actually, Python return object type. Okay, so I want the structure of, sorry, I've been using Mac all day and sometimes the shortcuts. There's a subclass of it represents 400 bad requests. Yep. I want the types. All right, cool. All right, so class structure of that should get me to the code, right? All right, cool. I just want the class structure. All right, attributes of Django HTTP response. Dot content. All right. End date condition. Ooh. All right. Oh, end date condition. Let's go over here. Let's hit up this. Let's do that to the left. Let's go with the network. Let's just hit update scheduler. Let's jump on that. Let's go request. Let's go down to the bottom and end date condition. End date. I don't know why it works for this one and not for that one. I'm just going to keep those in there like that. With the readme, we won't need to worry about that. With this, we won't need to worry about that. I'm just going to go in here and do that like that. we are going to type in continue. And we're going to interrupt it, and we're just going to go continue. Actually. Cool. I've gotten out of it. So, going to quickly run this. And we're going to hit that again. No problem. So, what we want, response.status code 200. Continue. Response.status code 403. All right, cool. Continue. Easy done. I'm just going to interrupt the keyboard until it's happy destroying itself. All right. So, yeah, that was it. I just had the wrong conditions in here. I don't know why it was working for the admin user when it shouldn't have. That will probably need further investigation. So let's get rid of that continued. Where is it? Team leader, this. Let's get rid of this code. Otherwise, we're going to cause issues. So down here now, we should run the test. It should run flawlessly. And I realize it is 10 o'clock. I will need to go to bed. But the good news is I made it to 3 hours. Well, 3 hours 15. So I reckon hopefully Wednesday. Actually, I don't think I will be around on Wednesday, sorry. So hopefully Friday I will do 6:30 to 10. Like my usual times. So yeah. All right, cool. Let's run everything. Let's remove all the static. Get status. So we've made a number of changes tonight, dealing with this permissions issues and stuff like that. So I'm going to go git add everything. I'm going to go git commit. This is a bug fix. And we are going to go over into this. We're going to copy this. So read-only users has access. All right, cool. So this is no longer the case. And we're going to git push. And we've got a bunch of unit tests in there. We will extend out the unit tests over time. Yeah, which is what we kind of want to achieve. For sort of wrapping up the 0.31 branch, which looks like it's we're pushing that back, I think to November now, just because the incident, the surgery has really pushed my ability to work. All right, let's find who is streaming. Making one to do or to do. All right, considering we got rated by someone who does game dev, let's raid someone who is doing game dev. Someone who's building Thirsty Princess, I think it is. Yeah. All right, cool. Let's go. I'm just gonna do it. I'm so used to just typing the commands into that. But yes, thank you very much everyone for coming tonight. It has been wonderful. Yeah, the schedule is coming along. Hopefully Friday, or hopefully during the week, I'll be able to sort of update more of the fixtures, which I was hoping to get done tonight. So we can write unit tests for the GDPR wizard. And that's I think our achievements we want to actually achieve for this particular month. We haven't set a high bar because we want to jump straight into wrapping everything up for NearBeach. So yeah, let's just double check whilst I have a couple of seconds. We wanted to do a lot of the bug wrap-ups and stuff like that. There's a bunch of sort of features that we wanted to do and stuff like that.
It's your boy.
Anyway, let's go raid. Anyway, thank you very much everyone, and I shall see you, I think, Friday.
And how it makes my life. So strap in, get your copy, and prepare for a lovely time. And before we get into
for those on YouTube, thank you very much for being here. Sadly, you won't be able to join us with the raid, but don't forget to like and subscribe. It does actually help the channel, so thank you very much. Thank you very much. So yeah, see ya.